Hi, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day this video is finding you. Welcome to Barely Grace. My name is Grace, and I started this YouTube channel along with a Facebook group of the same name to promote self-care. I do focus my videos primarily around skincare, hair care, and makeup, but I may from time to time talk about other things as well and how they relate back to self-care. So if that sounds like something that would interest you and you haven't already, I encourage you to like and subscribe. You can also visit us on Facebook. We do have a lot of fun there in our group, and we would love to have you. So yeah, welcome. I have water in here with me right now. It is Sunday. It is Sunday afternoon, and this is Sunday's video. I did not film anything like yesterday afternoon. Well, I did like one. I did Saturday's video, but like last night, I didn't do anything. I haven't pre-recorded videos in like a couple days. I'm kind of slacking behind, so I need to do something, but yeah, it is what it is for right now. At least I'm still doing a video a day. So today is Sunday, and this is Sunday's video. And I just thought that I would talk a little bit about hair today. I don't typically do a lot of hair videos. I should. And I may talk about hair products like when I get them in or if they're in empties and stuff like that. But I don't focus a lot of videos around hair, and I really should. Because I love hair. I love hair. I mean, of course, I have amazing hair. So yeah, I thought I would talk today about heatless curls and like different methods that you can use to make your hair wavy or curly or have some texture to it without adding heat to it. So I mean, of course, you can use things like curling irons and crimpers and a hair wand, and I have all those things. You can even use a straightener to make curls. Like, I have heat tools. But I also like to do heatless curls as well. And so I just thought that I would talk a little bit about that. Show you a couple of things that I have, some things that I've tried, some things that I want to try but haven't yet. And then, just kind of go from there. And I may also reference things like as I go along and as I talk. So first off, the way that I personally do heatless curls is I start with wet hair. I usually do, like, if I'm going to do heatless curls, I will do them on wash day. You don't necessarily have to do it on wet or damp hair. You can also, like, start out with dry hair, put a little bit of, like some spritzes of water in it, and then go in with an oil and put the things in. But I typically do it on wet hair, very damp hair. So generally what I will do is first I will go in with like an oil. Usually I've already got like leave-in conditioner and things on. So I will go in with an oil. This is my one that's almost empty. There's just a teeny little bit left, but of course I will use that. But I just opened the new one because I'd ordered a backup. So I just opened the new one on camera. This is the Hask Argan oil. It's not going to focus. That's unfortunate. I don't know why it's not focusing. This is the Hask Argan oil. Repairing hair oil. It strengthens and restores. It is clean beauty. So yeah, I will go in with a hair oil. And what I'll typically do is like set this to the side, and then like as I'm doing each section, like I will put a little bit of oil in it and then whatever I'm using. So I have a couple things. I have these I've had for years. I got these when my youngest was in a beauty pageant when she was like maybe 2. So these are like probably 10 years old. But that's okay. They still work. I have, I think, 4 sizes in here. And what I will typically do is use different sizes in different areas. I mean, like, you could do, like, all big ones. You could also do all tiny ones. But what I typically like to do is, like, mix it up and use multiple different sizes in my hair when I do these. So I will, like, roll these all the way down to the root and snap them shut. And then for these, like, I can sleep in these. That's not a problem. Some people don't like to sleep in them. But it takes forever for my hair to dry. So usually, like, if I'm going to use these, I will need to, like, wash my hair in the morning and then let it air dry a little bit. And then I'll go in and put these in so that I can have them the next day. Because my hair would never dry in time to have these, like, the same day. Now, if your hair dries quickly, or if your hair's already dry and you, like, just dampen it and then go in with these, that might very well work. But for me, these tend to be better if you leave them in overnight or even longer. The longer you can leave these in, I guess the better your results are going to be. And that's pretty much true for all of these things. Like, the longer you can leave it in there, the better it's going to be. The next thing I want to talk about are these things. I actually talked about these in a video, and I don't think I described them accurately. But essentially, and I didn't bring the tool with me, but what happens is there's this tool. It's like a plastic tool, and you run it through, because this has a little hole in the end, right? It has a little hole in the end. So you stick the tool in here. And when you run the tool up it, of course, it's going to straighten this out completely. So you run the tool up it, and the tool has a little hook in it, and you hook a piece of your hair, and then when you pull, the tool comes out, and then you have this, and your hair is inside it, right? So then you have these little guys all over your head. And that's why I said it kind of looked like a Lopsy. If you know what a Lopsy doll is, then you'll agree with me, because it does look like a Lopsy. But you have these, like, all in your hair, right? And so these are actually pretty comfortable to sleep on. But again, the longer that you can leave these types of things in, like, the better. What you can also do, which I don't do, but what you can do is, like say you have like a cheer competition or a dance competition, or you just want a curly ponytail. Like, you could put your hair in a ponytail and then use these things so that you have like the full thing, a ponytail. Leave them in there, you know, for an extended period of time. And then when you take them out, like, your ponytail is going to be, I hope that makes sense what I'm saying. But yeah, I love these. I think we got these like on, if I'm not mistaken, I ordered these from Wish like several years ago. And they work out really well. Like, my daughter, my youngest, did have very long hair. She has like shoulder length hair now. But it used to be super long, and like these would work for her too. Like, there would maybe be a little bit of hair that would stick out of the bottom. But that was fine. I mean, it still looked completely normal. Like, my length of hair, and maybe even a little bit longer, would be perfectly fine in these. I love using these. These are a lot of fun. I use heatless curls quite a bit. Not like every time, but I do use them quite a bit. These are the two that I use the most. Probably I use these the most, and then these are going to be like second. But I tend to use these quite a bit. The last like tool that I'm going to talk about, because the other methods that I'm going to talk about are basically just using your hair to do it. But the last one that I'm going to talk about is actually something that I saw and I thought was really cool. So I kind of bought the supplies to do it, and then I never did it. And I still think it's a really cool idea, and I want to do it. I just know that it's going to be pretty time consuming, and I just haven't done it yet. And you use straws. So essentially how it works is, I'll take one of these straws out and show you. So you have a straw, right? So you take your straw and you take like one strand of hair. I guess we'll just do this together. Let me pick a strand of hair. And maybe it'll actually be a long hair, not like a bang. But let me just pull this out. And my hair, I really need to do something with it. Okay, so say you've got a piece of hair, right? So you wrap, and you want to, like, the smaller strands that you can use, the better for this one. But you essentially just get the entire strand, like, wrapped up in the straw. And then once it's like super tight into your head, you bend these pieces of the straw in. So you bend it in like this, and then you put like a little tiny band or something in it. So it's like this, right? And then you keep it like this. Again, the longer that you can keep things like this in, the better. And then when you take it out, then you should have like a pin curl. So of course it's going to be much tighter than this because it was only in there for a second, right? But essentially that's the idea. So again, I haven't ever, don't pay attention to that side of my hair now. I haven't ever used that method, but I saw it done and I thought it looked super, super cool. And essentially you have like just a tiny little, like a coil of your hair, and then imagine that all over. So it gives a lot of volume, and it looks really cute. The ones that I saw look super cute. So I've never used that method. Again, if like tight, kinky, coily, curly hair frightens you, that's definitely not a method that you would want to use. But yeah, one day I will do that. And of course I'll show you. These two are a little bit safer because they're not going to be like as like crazy kind of kinky. But yeah, especially like if you get some of the bigger ones like that. Okay, so that's using like tools. There's a pop-up on my it's bothering me. Okay, so that's different things that you can use, right? Oh look, here's the so the little things that I just showed. I'm going to show you the tool that goes with it. The tool that goes with these. So even these are like, the ones that I have are like a spiral curl. This you can see is not a spiral curl, it's more of a wave. But this is the little tool that it comes with. And it comes in two pieces, but you actually snap it together like to make the tool longer. And that's just kind of how that works. All right, so let me get out of that. There's also things like this that I think are pretty cool. And there's different ways that you can do it. Like this is a specific tool for it. See how the tool looks? But then you can also do it with like a robe. All right, let me see if I can pull this without knocking anything else over. Okay. So this is like the tie from a robe, right? So you would like put it like this in your hair. So you've got, so it's even, right? It's even. And then you would like take pieces of your hair and wrap around it, like different sections of your hair and wrap around it. And then for like each section that you wrap around, you would put like a band in it to hold it. So of course, like it's going to be, you're going to have to part your hair in the center, and then like the hair is going to be around it in different ways. So this is something that would give more like volume rather than giving like a defined curl. It's something that's going to kind of give volume and like lift and things like that to your hair. So that's something that also is pretty popular. Like you may see a lot of people do it like on TikTok and Instagram and stuff like that. You can use different things. Like I've seen people use scarves. I've seen them use like the belt out of a robe. I've seen people use like big pieces of ribbon, like long ribbon and stuff. But yeah, so essentially that's I look crazy. That's another like form of a heatless curl that you could use. And then I think those are the only like tools that I kind of saw that I wanted to talk about. Okay, so like here is, I thought there was like a picture of like what it looked like when that was all curled up, but it's not really. There's not really one that shows you. Okay. Then there's also things like, it's like a foam stick. So it's about as long as this, but it's a solid stick and it's made of like foam. And you wrap, let me grab a piece here. You wrap your hair around it like this, and then the foam is bendable, so you can then do like this. So those, I don't have any of those. I wish I did, because I think those are pretty cool, and I probably need to pick some of those up, and I may do that within the next couple days. Um, but those are pretty cool. I've seen those. I like those. So I'd like to try those. Then you have things like buns and braiding. So, of course, when you braid your hair and you leave the braid in for any extended period of time, when you take it out, you're going to have waves or curls, depending on what type of braid it is. So you can do like just a regular, like a 3-strand braid. You know, you can do like a 3-strand braid like this all the way down, and however big the braid is, so like however big your hair sections are and however big the braid is, that's going to determine whether it's like a loose, like a looser wave or a looser curl versus a tighter one. The smaller the braid, then of course the tighter the curl or the wave is going to be. So braiding your hair is another thing that you can do. You can do a 3-strand braid, you can do a fishtail braid, you can do a French braid, you can do a Dutch braid, whatever kind of braid you do, Chinese ladder braid. There's all types of braids. And whatever braid you do, whether it's a big braid, a small braid, they're all going to look different, and that's going to kind of determine what kind of a wave or a curl your hair has to it. So braiding is also something you can use that is a method of like heatless curls or waves. Also buns, like, if you do a big bun and wrap it around, then you're going to have very loose, but it's going to give like volume to your hair. If you do tiny little buns, like think about like little like bandeau knots. So you just get small sections, and then you go around like this, and then you can like, of course I'm just trying to do it real quick to show you, but then you can like either pin that or put a band around it. So you have like tons of these like all over your head, like I said, depending on what size of a curl or you want. But you can also use those. I use those a lot, especially like if I'm going on vacation and I'm going to be driving, right? What I will do is I will wash my hair, put it in little bandeau knots like all over, and then that's what I'll like drive to our destination. I've done that several times. I did it one time when we actually drove to Washington, D.C., and then came back through. We had to pick our oldest up in Washington, D.C., and then we came back through to Myrtle Beach. And so that's what I did. Before we left, my hair was wet. I put in the little bandeau knots. We drove to Washington, D.C., picked our oldest up, then drove to Myrtle Beach. So we're talking about like a day of driving, right? And the next day when I woke up, I took the bandeau knots out, and I had beautiful, waves and curls. So yeah, buns and braids are something that you can do that are going to give some kind of like a wave or a curl to your hair, and those are heatless. Now, what I've seen a lot of people will do is like they'll use like these or braids or buns or anything like that, and because it's not getting dry, they'll then put like a hair dryer on it. Well, that kind of defeats the purpose of a heatless curl. So you want to make sure that you're giving yourself enough time for your hair to dry naturally without putting heat on it, so that you can actually get like a benefit of the heatless curls. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's kind of random and like, it would make more sense if I had like wet my hair and could like show you each thing, or if I had a bunch of these little guys in my hair, that would have been a lot of fun. But I haven't done anything with my hair today. I need to. But I just kind of wanted to show you a couple of different methods for heatless curls that I think are cool. Have you used any of these? Like, do you have any of these products? Have you used any of these? Have you used the straw thing? Because to me that, I need to do that. I just keep putting it off. I've probably had these for a year and a half, and I bought these specifically to do those heatless curls, and I haven't done them yet. But have you done any of these? Have you tried any of these methods? Do you want to try some of these methods? Let me know. We'll talk about it in the comments. But I do hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you do something today that gives back to you some form of self-care, whatever that might look like. Whether you want to do your hair or light a candle, read a book, read a magazine. I just read like a couple magazines earlier today, ones that I've like gotten over the past month or so. I just went through and read like 3 magazines. But yeah, do something today that gives back to you, some form of self-care, whatever that might look like, because you're important and you deserve it.